Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Miami Heat announce concerning Tyler Herro and Andrew Wiggins news. The Miami Heat need to go on a good run if they are to make it to the playoff spots. They are currently 7th in the East with a 29-32 record. On the other hand, the 6th-place Detroit Pistons have a 35-28 record and are one of the most informed teams in the NBA right now. The Heat's next game is against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and unfortunately, it looks like they could be missing a number of their key players. Tyler Herro, illness, Alec Burks, back, Jamie Jaquez, ankle, and Andrew Wiggins, ankle, are all questionable on the Heat injury report for the game against the Timberwolves. Herro has been the Heat's best performer this season. So, if he misses the game, it will be a blow for them for sure. On the other hand, Wiggins has been a positive contributor as well and is averaging 17.8 points per game since joining the Heat as part of the Jimmy Butler to Golden State Warriors trade. Also, the Heat will be without Kel'el Ware against the Timberwolves, as has been the case in the previous two games. On the other hand, Rudy Gobert of the Timberwolves has been listed as questionable for the game against the Heat and he has not played since mid-February. Let's see how this game plays out and whether the likes of Herro and Wiggins do indeed end up missing. If they do, it will be an uphill task for the Heat to overcome the Timberwolves, who are on a 3-game win streak coming into this matchup. Injury notes: Martin, Gobert, Jackson, Monk, Thompson, Heat. Caleb Martin is set to soon make his Mavericks debut. He was upgraded to questionable for Dallas's Friday game against the Grizzlies, according to the Dallas Morning News Mike Curtis, Twitter link. Martin hasn't played since January 10, when he was a member of the Sixers. The Mavericks acquired Martin at the trade deadline in exchange for Quentin Grimes. It was an interesting move in the wake of the Luka Doncic trade, as the Mavs sent out a younger Grimes set to hit restricted free agency this summer and acquired a 29-year-old Martin in the first of a 4-year, $35 million deal. However, Martin hasn't played for the shorthanded Mavericks as he works his way back from a hip strain. In 31 games with Philadelphia, he averaged 9.1 points and 4.4 rebounds while shooting 43.5% from the floor and 37.9% from three. The return of Martin would be more than welcome news for the Mavericks. Heading into its matchup with Memphis, Dallas only has 8 players fully available. With Jimmy Butler leaving the Miami Heat for the Golden State Warriors, the franchise are in need of a new face. Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo are great secondary stars, but there are serious doubts about whether they can lead a winning team. This season is the perfect example of that. With Butler rarely playing or performing well in recent times, this was the perfect opportunity for Herro and Adebayo to step up. To be fair, Herro has to a large extent and is averaging 24.1 points this season. But even now, he does not feel like the primary option. On the other hand, after a slow start to the season, Adebayo has found his form again, but he is not really performing at the level he was in the previous campaign. Many had expected this to be the season when Adebayo finally stepped up and made the Heat his team. He has failed to do that. Thus, do not be surprised if the Heat try to bring in a superstar in the summer to be the next face of the franchise. Could Lamelo Ball be that guy? Zach Buckley wrote in his article imagining every NBA team's top 3 offseason trade targets on Bleacher Report, Miami would need to find star power to abandon the Save for 2026 plan, and Ball would provide that in spades. He'd also address a years-long itch for additional scoring and creation on the perimeter. There would be defensive concerns with the Ball-Herro backcourt, but the offensive upside is enormous, and at least some of those concerns would be alleviated by Adebayo's presence behind them. Ball has shown elite potential on the Charlotte Hornets. This season, he is averaging 26.3 points per game. Also, he is just an incredibly entertaining player to watch. The type who can be the face of a franchise for years to come. There are some concerns surrounding Ball though. The first has to be his injury problems. last season, he played 22 games. The one before that, he featured 36 times. This season, he has already missed 22 games. Then there comes the win factor. While Ball is a tremendous individual player, there is no guarantee that he can be part of a winning unit simply because the Hornets have never really been competitive. The Miami Heat's roster is constructed around an all-star tandem of Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo, which most agree is not strong enough to contend for a championship. This is why so many trade ideas see the Heat landing a superstar such as Kevin Durant or Ja Morant. However, Miami's front office may come to the conclusion Adebayo is simply not a piece it's confident building for the future around. If that's the case, Fadeaway World predicts Adebayo will still team up with Morant, but on the Memphis Grizzlies. The full hypothetical trade details are as follows: Grizzlies receive, Adebayo. Heat receive, Desmond Bane, Gigi Jackson, 2027 first-round pick, MEM, 2029 first-round pick, MEM, 2028 second-round pick, MEM. Bane, 26 years old, and Jackson, 20 years old, are already established contributors in the Grizzlies' rotation but could develop further under the leadership of coach Erik Spoelstra. The latter is arguably the most appealing part of the return, as he averaged 14.6 points and 4.1 rebounds on 42.8% shooting in his rookie campaign. Memphis dealt with a plethora of injuries last season, leading Jackson to have a sizable role as a then 19-year-old second-round pick. The Grizzlies' interior defense would easily be the best in the NBA after this move. The possible frontcourt tandem of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Adebayo would simply be impenetrable for a majority of teams. Heat proposed blockbuster move already sees Miami deal Andrew Wiggins in exchange for $107 million star. The Miami Heat are not in a hurry to compete for a championship despite what most trade proposals suggest, as the all-star tandem of Tyler Herro, age 24, and Bam Adebayo, age 27, is still relatively young. Newly acquired forward Andrew Wiggins is in a bit more of a rush because he's 30 years old and already has a taste of winning from his tenure with the Golden State Warriors. This could lead to a mutual parting this offseason, allowing the Heat to chase more youthful talent while sending the former number 1 pick to a team looking to contend now. This is why Fadeaway World predicts the following blockbuster trade will take place between the Heat and Toronto Raptors this summer. Heat receive, RJ Barrett. Raptors receive, Andrew Wiggins, 2025 first-round pick, GSW. 2029 first-round pick, MIA. Barrett, the former number 3 pick, is having arguably the best season of his career with the Toronto Raptors. The 24-year-old star is averaging 21.7 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 5.7 assists on 47.6% shooting in 49 appearances. Barrett could play small forward with his 6'6", 215-pound frame, which would allow Herro to remain in the spot he earned his first All-Star appearance in. Giving up 2 first-round picks is never ideal, but the Golden State Warriors selection will likely be toward the end of the round, and Miami's front office never prefers a full rebuild. And you, fan? What do you think about the situation of RJ Barrett? Write to us in the comments.